Good evening, everybody. Welcome to the PANSIGHT webinar. Today's topic is wow webinars, boo webinars. I started giving webinars 4 years back, and I already given nearly 200 webinars. And I uploaded most of my webinars on YouTube. Last year, in 2023, from the YouTube, their statistics showed that more than 10,000 views. My YouTube videos received more than 10,000 views. And one of the talks I gave recently, good ego versus bad ego, more than 800 views. So I'm sharing some facts. And based on these facts and data, I believe my webinars are wow. Am I justified in arriving at this conclusion based on those facts? If yes, in the chat box put why. Am I justified? Okay, Rocharanji, yes. Okay, Shinamparmut, yes. Okay, thank you. And again, some more facts I'm going to share. During my pre-degree days and during my MBBS days, most of us found nearly 80% of the classes very boring. And 80% attendance was required if you want to go for university examination. So mandatory. So we didn't have the option to just cut and go away. Here in the webinar, you have the full freedom. There's no compulsion. You don't have to come here. You can leave at any time. But during those pre-degree days and MBBS days, no option. And MBBS days, one of my friends, he retired as an eminent pathologist. Eminent pathologist. We used to sit together. He would always sleep during those classes. Always. But he wouldn't snore. So he wouldn't disturb the teacher or anybody else. No snoring. And he would sleep quietly. What he used to do was, he used to put both hands under his chin so that he won't fall. Okay, this is to stabilize. This is the support. On the desk, you will put the elbows. Instantaneous sleep. Now, why? There's a difference between the school teachers and college teachers. Do you know the difference? If you don't know the difference, put N in the chat box. I will explain. Roy Chiranji, no. Okay, Arjanaji, no. The reason is the school teachers, they get the training in how to teach. B.Ed is a qualification that is required to become a school teacher. Whereas the college teachers and professional college teachers, there's no such requirement. Is this clear? It is clear, put C. Because this fact, many people don't realize. Yes, thank you, Arjanaji. Okay. So no training. So they don't know how to. What do? They imitate or copy the teaching style of their own teachers. And the copying the style, if those teachers were terrible or awful, you are going to do the same thing. Just like children imitating the parents. What did I do? When I became a teacher, 1981, tutor in medicine. Okay, I was feeling nervous and anxious because I don't know how to teach. But in Trivandrum, there was a library called British Council Library. I went to that library. I went there and I went to the education section and I found books on teaching, books on training. I borrowed those books. I must have read easily more than 20 books on teaching and training. And I applied that knowledge I gained from those books. The problem is many people, they may have knowledge, but they don't apply. Unapplied knowledge is useless. Knowledge is not power unless you apply that knowledge. And I had the opportunity also, every week, I had the opportunity to take classes for the third year MBA students, final year MBA students, and house surgeons. So I tried, polished, and newer ways of doing. Eventually, I developed my own methodologies. And I'm a guest faculty in more than 10 B.Ed colleges in India. I don't have any B.Ed qualification. I don't have any M.Ed qualification, but I'm a guest faculty. I usually share my 9-star methodologies. I gave the title 9-star methodologies in teaching. So teaching is a passion. And I do learn every day. And I'm sure that is most of you must have had the opportunity to join or listen to more than 300 or 500 webinars. Am I right? In the last 4 years, if I am right, put R in the chat box. More than 300 or 500, Archanaji, yes, Samliji. I had the opportunity again to listen to more than 500 webinars. I find more than 80% of the webinars are boring and useless. What about your experience in the audience? What percentage of the webinars did you find really enjoyable? Put a number in the chat box. 10%, 30%, 50%. Give me a number. Okay. 80%, Archanaji, 40%. Premanaji, 50%. So obviously, if it is 50%, if I accept, so why the other 50% webinars were boring? Suresh Kumar Nelson, they 20%. Why? Were they aware? The question is, do you think that those speakers were aware of the fact their sessions were boring? If they are not aware, put N in the chat box. Not aware, Archanaji, Musamali. They are not aware. And sometimes what happens is people, just to make them feel happy, and they say, oh, good. Oh, excellent. That's a lie. So this purpose of this session is to know everything about the methodologies. Make sure every webinar has a purpose. Express it clearly at the onset of the session. So what is the purpose of today's webinar? One, understand why some webinars are wow. Understand why some webinars are Boo! And learn how to give a wow webinar. As usual, my webinars are always based on FEQT, facts, experience, quotes, and thoughts. Surendranji, somebody has unmuted. There are numerous books on presentation skills. Develop your presentation skills, 10 steps to successful presentations. Awful presentations, that is boo presentations. Do you know this personality? If you know, put in the chat box the name. Yeah, this is interactive because I want to make sure that you are all actively listening. Who is this personality? He is no more. He is no more.
And
Yes. Swami Chinmayananda. I'll come to that one later. What about this personality?
Osho.
In the chat box.
Osho.
Osho, good. Why did I choose these two? Look carefully. Chinmayananda ji's gestures, facial expression. Osho, facial expression, gestures. Osho had millions of followers. And when he was in USA, in Oregon, he received 99 Rolls-Royce cars as gift. Rolls-Royce cars, very expensive cars. Nobody is going to give that as a gift unless they found his discourses useful, insightful. The same way Swami Chinmayananda, his Gita discourses. In 1984, when I was in Trivandrum, I went to listen to his discourse in a university senate hall. 1,200 people can sit there. I went there some 10 minutes before the beginning of the session. All seats were taken up. 1,200. It was ran for 7 days, every day. Jam-packed. Whereas there was another professor, I don't want to mention his name. He also gave Gita Jnana 1 week. I went there. On day 1, including me, there were only 10 people. On day 2, including me, only 6 people. Day 3, including me, only 3 people. On 4th day, I also stopped going there. Very same Gita. So boring. So that is the difference between Swami Chinmayananda and Nida. Master communicators. They knew how to use their body language effectively. Whereas the other professor, he used to say, Krishna tells Arjuna that the crowd is not at all good crowd about. Whereas Swami Chinmayananda said, Kundika beta, crowd. So that is the difference between Chinmayananda and the other person. Are you impressed? If you are impressed, put I. If you are impressed and convinced. The difference. Yes, Musamali ji. Because I was there. This is based on my own first-hand experience-based knowledge. I told you. Whatever I say will be based on my experience. Then some more personalities. Mamata Banerjee. Gesture, expression. She is a single woman. She was not born with a silver spoon. There is no family dynasty. She worked on her own way up. Since 2011 in West Bengal, she is the chief minister. She was able to kick two parties out, not even one seat, CPM and Congress party. Don't you think that is an amazing accomplishment? What did she do? Did she give money to those people? Ability to communicate, ability to connect with the people, ability to motivate them, ability to persuade them. Do you agree? If you agree, put A in the chat box. The question is not whether you like her or not. It is an obvious fact. I'm sharing fact. Facts are facts. Doesn't matter whether you like them or not. She has proven that she has got that leadership qualities. And this is Hitler. Hitler again, he was not born with a silver spoon. He couldn't get admission to the arts college. He was an artist on his own self. He was able to brainwash people and make them believe that Jews are evil. And genocide, 6 million innocent Jews, women, children, they were killed. Genocide. I'm not appreciating that part, but what I'm appreciating is his ability to persuade. That is the point I'm trying to make. And he used to rehearse in front of a mirror before giving a speech. Very gesticulate expressions. You saw that slide. I'll show that slide once again. Look at the expressions. He was not standing like a robo. So, if you want to thrive, I use the word thrive. Communication skills, one must sharpen, polish. Are you convinced? If you are convinced, put C in the chat box. Yes, Musamali ji. And okay, Rajesh Srimar Nair ji. Thank you. I'm making sure that how many people are alert. How many people are listening to me? Ayova Shekhar, thank you. What does the expression wow mean? An indication of excitement, surprise, astonishment, or pleasure. Positive, boo, a shout of disapproval or contempt. You must have seen during your college days, your own old friends, they sing their song, the talent is terrible. Ooh, ooh. Eh? That is booing. That is booing. Kuval. Yeah, in Malayalam, it's called kuval. And speaker, a person who speaks before an audience. There's a reason for putting this definition. All the great speakers were bad speakers at first. I won't say I'm a great speaker, but during my MBBS days, I was the filling club secretary. And again, to seek votes, I had to go to different classes, address more than 100 students. I was so nervous. I used to stand and say only few words. It was a gallery type of seating. I used to say, I am Venugopal Reddiar. I am contesting for the filling club secretary. Please vote for me. Over. Barely audible. I was not audible to. My voice was not audible to me also. I won the election. That's a different story. We don't have that time. Because the other two candidates, the girls, they hated them. They disliked me, but they hated the other two candidates. So they voted for me. It is not that they voted for me because they liked me. I won the election. And after that, there was an event. I was asked to give the vote of thanks for one minister, Aukadar Kutti Naga. I lost my sleep on the previous day. I couldn't sleep. We had the forum auditorium. There will be some 300, 400 people. Vote of thanks. So I asked my friend to write a vote of thanks so that I can memorize, I can speak. And he wrote some 4 paragraphs. I said, no. 4 paragraphs, forget about it. Just 1 paragraph, maybe 4 or 5 sentences. That's it. So he wrote that was it. On behalf of the Film Club Secretary, I propose vote of thanks to our Honorable Minister, Aukadar Kutti Naga. That's all. That also, when I went there, I spoke, barely audible. I virtually whispered, and I immediately ran away. So that Ralph Waldo Emerson, to begin with, bad speaker. Is this my real life example? Convincing? If it is convincing, put C in the chat box. This is my own personal experience. I'm not ashamed. I'm sharing this one because the purpose of telling is to motivate you. Motivate you to know that is, I didn't have that talent. Some people say, oh, you have got that talent. No, this is nothing to do with talent. This is training. All speaking is public speaking, whether it is to one person or 1,000. So this is something many people don't realize. They think public speaking, oh, I don't do the public speaking. I don't give any talks. No, every day when you meet somebody, when you are talking, you must be able to impress that person. You must be able to convince that person. You must be able to persuade that person. When you are going to a bank manager asking for a loan, yes, your communication skills. You are a speaker there. Is this clear? If it is clear, put C. Because some people think that, oh, I'm not a public speaker. I don't need, No, thank you, Artinadi. No, every day, Binduji, thank you. Every day, when you interact with the doctors, when they interact with the patient or family members. Thank you, Vishnanji. Half the world is composed of people who have something to say and cannot say. Other half of people who have nothing to say and keep saying it. Do you agree? Do you agree? Look at the politicians. They have nothing to say, but they have no inhibition. Nothing useful, nothing insightful, nothing. And they have no problem. Hold the microphone. Then you have to snatch the microphone from them. They won't give the microphone back. They will hold it. If you give them 5 minutes, they will talk for 30 minutes. Whereas look at many other people, some college professors, if you ask them to give a talk, no. If you talk, hardly 2 minutes. Am I right? Put a right R in the chat box. People who have the knowledge, they don't have the ability to express. People who don't have the knowledge, that's what the old is saying, empty drum makes noise. These empty drums, they make a lot of noise. And people listen to them. Thank you, Vishnaji. In presentations or speeches, less is more. That one, less is more. No audience ever complained about a presentation or speech being too short. Here I find for some webinars, when it is meant for some 1 hour, the speaker exceeds the time limit. When somebody has to remind that person, they dump a lot of information. Am I right? If I'm right, put right, R. You must have definitely seen people exceeding the allotted time, Binduji. So less is more. I always try to make sure I present that one within the time limit. And I usually leave 5 to 10 minutes for Q&A. Dale Carnegie. Speakers who talk about what life has taught them never fail to keep the attention of their listeners. About my life experience I shared. So you listen. Am I right? So Dale Carnegie is right. About my own experience, what lessons I learned from life. That'll be more authentic. People say, Sigmund Freud says, in Harvard research says, that says, he says, that says. You don't talk about your own personal experience or professional experience. Am I right? That's what many speakers do. They don't talk anything from their personal or professional life. Okay, Atinaji. Okay, Jaitanji, thank you. If you don't use stories, audience may enjoy your speech, but there's no chance they will remember it. I'm sure that you will remember the story, my friend who used to sleep. I'm sure that you will remember the story when I was asked to give the vote of thanks. Do you agree? You will remember it is a story, real life story. Thank you, Roy Chiranji. When I hear it, I forget it. When I see it, I remember it. When I do it, I know it. Auditory memory is very short-lived. You hear, you may forget it very soon. If you see something, you may remember. That is why in the courtroom, Archanaji, she is a lawyer. They want an eyewitness, not a ear witness. If you say, I heard, go. We don't want. Did you see? Visual memory. That's why I'm using PowerPoint slides, pictures. Some people give a talk without any PowerPoint slides. Yeah, gone. This is gone with the wind. And there are some speakers, Archanaji knows, I am not going to mention the name. Some people, they don't use PowerPoint at all, slides. They non-stop, they talk here and there, all the gestures, and 1 hour is gone. What do they retain? Nothing. Nothing. The most valuable of all talents is never using two words when one will do.
Brevity.
Shaji ji, you know, one of our professors, always, Dr. Shaji and we went to the same medical school. And that professor, if you give a right answer, he will say, not bad. 2 words. 1 word should be good. Instead of saying good. Shaji ji, do you understand that person? Okay, good. Always not bad. Hey, why don't you say good? Single word. Seven tips for wow webinars. Now we want to know the tips, how to make the webinars wonderful. Number 1, support the facts and data with the stories. Whatever I'm sharing now, you won't find in any textbook. You won't find it in any textbook. These are all my original thoughts based on my own more than 40 years of teaching, more than 35 years of training, and 4 years of conducting webinars. And you have seen how I support the facts and data with stories. Provide analogies. Analogies for when Albert Einstein, when he was approached by 2 college girls, they asked him to explain the theory of relativity in simple, plain language so that they could understand. Albert Einstein was a great communicator. And he told those girls, If you sit on the lap of your boyfriends for 1 hour, it will feel like only 5 minutes. If you sit on the top of a stove top for 5 minutes, it will feel like 1 hour. That is the theory of relativity. Don't you agree that analogy was very effective? If it is very effective, put E in the chat box. Albert Einstein explained that one. Okay? Pratyanaji, Roy Kiranji. That is what. I also use a lot of analogies during the MBBS as a teacher. So the students, they loved me. They liked me. Because I put effort. Because whatever I learned from that books on teaching and training, then I improvised. Use images to convey ideas. Obvious. You know that is. Most of my talks, I use images. Quotation also. I don't simply put the name. I search and find the photograph and I put that picture also. You have seen the Ralph Waldo Emerson, Dale Carnegie. So images also. A picture is worth 1,000 words, old saying. Show a picture. Dialogue, not monologue. That's what right now we are having a dialogue. Chat box is a dialogue. I ask for your feedback. Some speakers, they don't do anything. It's a monologue. They keep on talking. And they don't know whether the people are on the same page. No monologue. Use active voice. Example, most of the people use passive voice. It has come to my attention. It has come to my attention. Some memos. I say, I have come to know. Why do you want to say? It has come to my attention. Or you say, I am aware. Active voice. Is this example clear? We don't have much time. So during the discussion, after the presentation, yes, if you want me to give more examples, I'll be glad to give more examples. It is my understanding. Why do you want to say it is my understanding? You say, I understand. Simple. Straightforward. Use plain words, you know. I never talk like Shashi Tharoor. Shashi Tharoor, when he gives something, you have to immediately go and search the dictionary to find out the meaning or his Twitter messages. Most of the time, he tries to impress. High-sounding, flowery language. I don't. I use simple, plain words. My memory don't fail. Lastly, rule of 7 for PowerPoint slides. If there's a sentence, try to make sure that sentence doesn't have more than 7 words. Try to make sure that doesn't have more than 7 lines. Not more than 7 lines, not more than 7 words. Occasionally, you may have to go for 8 or 9. Occasionally. But what do we find? I'm going to show you some real examples also. Some slides I have taken the screenshot of some of the webinars. I'll show you where there are some 22 lines crammed and one sentence again with some 10 or 15 words. People won't have the time. You cannot read those things fast and understand. If they are not able to finish reading, if they are not able to understand, then what is the purpose of showing that slide, my dear friend? Does it serve any purpose? If that doesn't serve any purpose, put AN in the chat box. If that slide is nothing but a junk slide. Am I right? If I'm right, put R. Yes. No, Chiranji, no. That is agreed. Okay. So that is what is happening. I won't blame these speakers. I won't blame them. Just like what I told you, school teachers, they get training. College teachers, they don't get training. These webinar speakers, they don't have any training. So they are untrained. That is the reason, their ignorance. That is the purpose of giving this talk also, to remove that ignorance. I am not simply blaming them. I am explaining the reason why, because of their ignorance. Is this clear? Because nobody should go away thinking that, oh, this Dr. Reddiar is so arrogant. He finds that he is criticizing everybody else and he thinks that he is the Mahatma or Mahan. No. I'm explaining why. Then 7 pitfalls behind boo webinars. Why? The people would like to coo or found it very boring. One, robotic speech. No justice. I'm going to give you a demonstration. Robotic speech is like this. The 7 tips for how to make a all webinar and show the stories to support data and use images to convey ideas. If I continue like this, Archana Vedantam will have a good sleep. She won't need any sleeping pill. And she won't wake up till tomorrow morning 9 o'clock. She will go into deep sleep. And Shajis also may immediately go back and fall backwards. Unless he has got in his chair, if he doesn't have a backrest, he may just
easy chair.
fall. So that is robotic speech. You must have definitely seen some people. They are like robots. You may even wonder where the sound is coming. You won't see even the lip moving. Even the lip also movement, you will find it very difficult. I have seen some people. I stare, where is the voice coming from? Okay. No gesture, no expression, nothing. Cut and paste slides. Yeah. So laziness. You must read that content and make your own slide. Change the words. Change the tone, everything. Don't use cut and paste slides. I don't use any cut and paste slides. You must have noticed. Poor formatting of slides. I told you. Plenty of lines, sentences, so many words, and unnecessarily they show some pictures. That will be distraction. Don't use a picture unless that one is absolutely required. And some people, animation, okay, this slide, this one comes from here, runs, and this one disappears, flashing. It's a distraction. Okay, you won't be able to read what is going on. It is something like a child getting distracted. And color contrast, very important. Light and dark should be. The background is light, the fonts should be dark. The background is dark, the font should be light. I'm going to show you again some examples where people don't even know these basics. Font size. Sometimes when you are reading here, you need a big magnifying glass. to read what those are written. So tiny, 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 just like the ants crawling. You cannot read. The font size, if possible, 40 and above. My slides, the font size are 90% of them 40 and above. Sometimes maybe 36. I don't use tiny fonts. Cognitive overload. Too much of information dumping. Too much, whatever they know, everything. It is something like trying to about Mahabharata in 15 minutes. What they know everything about Mahabharata. They Arjuna, Kaurava, this one, Pandava, this one, and there are Pandava, 5 people. Kaurava, there are 100 people, and the Dhritarashtra. Yeah, cognitive overload. Too much. Circumlocution. Do you know what it is? If you don't know, put N in the chat box. Circumlocution. Okay, Artinaji, no? No? Circumlocution. Example. I would say from a financial point of view, Dr. Jayachandran is well off. Instead of saying, Dr. Jayachandran is rich. 2 words or 3 words. Dr. Jayachandran is rich. Instead of that one, from a financial point of view, Dr. Jayachandran is well off. Got it? Circumlocution. Here in America, very common. Instead of saying that he is poor, he is economically disadvantaged. Okay? If you say he is poor, we know. But they don't. He is economically disadvantaged. That is circumlocution. There are numerous interesting examples. So far, do you find this session entertaining and enlightening? If it is entertaining and enlightening, put EE in the chat box. Okay. I'm using...
Vedanta is always laughing.
Pardon?
Vedanta is continuous laughing.
Yeah, except our Dr. Shaji ji. He is sitting with a very serious face. I think that somebody should give him a nitrous oxide also. Okay? I am not able to see a smile on Dr. Shaji's face. Okay?
Because you say something about robotic.
Right. Then using passive voice, I explained earlier. Then cracking stale jokes. Terrible mistakes. Some people start their presentation with a joke. That is an old joke. Even a 2-year-old child has heard that joke. Even a 2-year-old. And you come and you kill the whole presentation. And they laugh at their own jokes. That's all. Persuasion strategies, EPL of Aristotle. Ethos, pathos, logos. I'll explain briefly. Ethos, appealing to the ethical. For example, when I said first thing about my qualifications, my credentials, whether I am competent to give such a talk. That's where I put that one. I have given nearly 200 webinars. I have been teaching for 40 years. That is ethos. So the audience will know what kind of qualification or does he have to give a talk on this subject. Logos, logic. Logical. Why this is happening. Explaining everything. Appealing to your logical mind. Then pathos, appealing to the emotion. That's where I made you laugh. Humor. To persuade people. Laughter. If you make somebody laugh, they will like you. Then you'll be able to easily persuade them. That is EPL. Teach that time to say, I don't know. Some speakers, they pretend to know everything. If somebody asks a question, they don't know the answer. Instead of saying, that's a good question. Sorry, I don't know. They will bluff. They think that if I say, I don't know, what will they think about me? And soon you lose your credibility. Don't bluff. I don't bluff. If I don't know, I'll say, I don't know. Communication failure creates many problems. I'll explain this one during the discussion. Okay, some of the slides. Look at that one. Can you read that one? So many lines. The color contrast, light green, white font, some kind of a light brown, white font, and everything. Look at that one. Surrounding also so crowded. Is it a good slide or a bad slide? Which is B, put B. That's it. Bad slide. This is what is happening every day. Again, look at that one. Light blue color background and blue fonts. And so much stuff is overcrowded. Again, bad slide. Haha, look at this person kept on reading so many lines. The common purpose of suicide is to seek a solution. The common goal of suicide is a cessation of consciousness. The common stimulus, because that person had to finish that presentation within 60 minutes, that person came with 78 slides. Yes, real examples. Any subject can be made interesting, and therefore any subject can be made boring. You agree with that one, I am sure. Take advantage of every opportunity to practice communication skills so that when important occasions arise, you will have the gift, the style, the sharpness, the clarity, and the emotions to affect other people. That is what I did. Those teaching, as a teacher, every occasion I kept on polishing and improving. Whereas many teachers, they don't do that one. Even after becoming professor, from day one, they are lousy tutor, and professor also lousy professor. Nothing changes. The biggest mistake made by emerging speakers is that they discount their own experience. Share your experience. Look at that HFDC bank advertisement. Unlock the door to your dream home with HFDC home loan. That is appealing to the pathos, emotions, young couple holding a small, this one, of a home and motivating them, pushing their emotional button. Here, Geo, live matches with cricket data, 555, logic. It costs only 500 logos, appealing to the logos as well as pathos. This is a slide I made initially. When I asked some of my friends, do you understand what it is, before I shared it with others? And they said, they don't know what this boo means. Wow also, not everybody knew. Then I changed that one, modified that one to make it easily understandable without any confusion. Next week, be assertive, adversity quotient. Same. Now, okay. Now, if you have any questions, first ask me questions. Questions only. We have at least 9 minutes. Questions only. Shaji, if you are going to say something, make sure it is a question related to what I have shared. Okay. Anybody? Okay, thank you. Anthony Putan. This is a vast topic as usual. I can give a talk on this subject for easily 10 solid hours. I have material. But my objective, my purpose is to make speakers realize these basic tips. If you follow, watch this video again. എന്നാൽ കേൾക്കുന്നില്ല.
നമ്മുടെ എക്സ്പീരിയൻസ് ഷെയർ ചെയ്യുമ്പോഴേ തള്ളായിട്ട് വ്യാഖ്യാനിക്കും ചിലപ്പോ.
What others will think doesn't matter as long as you are sure. First, you are to sure what you are sharing is a fact, is truth. You cannot please everybody. You cannot convince everybody. There will be some people who are always there to criticize. They won't get good sleep or good orgasm if they don't criticize somebody else. Okay? They are all fault finders, blamers. Forget about them. If I want everybody in this group to say, oh, wow, Dr. Reddiar, then no, I will feel miserable. Here also, if I ask some 2 or 3 people, maybe say, I expected something more. I thought you'll say this one. I thought this one will be. Or you didn't say about this one. Whatever I have omitted. Never. Never. Learn from the politicians. Politicians every day, Modi and Rahul Gandhi, in the social media, mainstream media, the millions of, they criticize them, the negative comments, both Modi and Rahul Gandhi. If they take those criticisms seriously, they won't be able to function at all. Both of them will be admitted in the All India Institute of Medical Sciences in the ICU. Okay. In a state of coma. Simply ignore. Move on. The very fact that is, I was really pleasantly surprised when the YouTube statistics showed that is in 2023, my uploaded YouTube videos received more than 10,000 views. That is something very satisfying. That matters. So many people would not have gone and watched my video if they didn't get something useful, insightful. Okay. Anybody else who wants to ask a question? Panikar sir, your mic is unmuted.
Venu?
Okay. Gomar.
This is something regarding, when you are teachings, also we usually prepare PPT and slides. And usually for postgraduates, we have got that poster session and other thing. So there also we keep some criteria like that. But I have seen some people showing some references from some journals. This, as you said, you can't see anything. They may take a full page of the journal and project. So nobody will be able to see who are the authors and what's the title like that. So what do you say about those things? So is it a...
See, unfortunately, that is unless these people, anybody who gives a talk, it is high time they must undergo some training. They should not think that is because they have MD, PhD, they know how to give a talk. No. Those qualifications simply mean that you know the subject and you answered the questions correctly. They are testing your written skills mostly, not the oral skills. And they don't test this kind of a presentation. And webinars came into existence after the pandemic. Before that, very rarely. And many people, they don't know how to use, how to make PowerPoint slides. So that being so, they have to go and get the training. You cannot do anything about that one, Gomarji. You can only...
Yeah. Another thing is, as you said, the time management is also very important. Because you know that you almost sharply stops at 8:50. I have seen people when we give them about 30 minutes like that, so they will prepare something for 40 minutes. And sometimes this slide, so I am just skipping through these slides. So that may be some important slides they may skip. And this is a very, this thing when we go for attending this continuing medical education and these conferences, we have got time boundaries there. So even though they are given 30 minutes, even after 30 minutes, can I have 2 minutes? Can it take 5 minutes like that? So I am not showing these are not important. I will just skip through these slides. So that's also, I think, that also can be compared to your Boo webinars, I think.
Okay, yeah. Gomarji, because I was laughing a lot because I remembered about a situation that happened 40 years back in 1984 when I was a tutor in the Trivandrum Medical College. And there was a all India neurology conference for 2 days. The neurology professor, for some reason, I don't know why, I was in medicine department. He approached me. He told me, Venu, I need your help. Then I said, okay, what kind of help? And he said, at conference, I would like you to make sure that everything goes according to the time schedule. Because some people, they speak for long, and then during the lunch time also, lunch break also, many people are not able to go for the lunch. So time management, I'm giving you the responsibility. I said, okay, I will do it, sir. So what I did was, I brought an electrician. I'm talking 40 years back. At that time, it was not a PowerPoint slide. They are using the slide projector. I brought an electrician and asked him to put 2 bulbs, one red bulb and green bulb on the dice. Okay, red and green, and flickering also, so that I can control, and so that the bulb either will be steady light or it will flicker. Then all these speakers, they already knew they have 15 minutes or 20 minutes. Schedule says that 8 to 8:20, then 8:20 to 8:40. It is already printed. They were aware. It is not that day morning they were asked to come, oh, give a talk for 20 minutes. First speaker, before that, I stood up. I said, I introduced myself. I'm Dr. Venugopal Reddiar. I have been entrusted with the task to make sure that everything goes according to the timetable. So there you can see on the left hand, that is a green and red bulb. So when you start giving the talk, the red bulb will be solid bulb. That will be light. No, green. Then when it is 2 minutes before the end of session, the red light will start flickering. Then 30 seconds before that one, red light will go solid. Then at the end of that 15 minutes, your mic will be turned off. Okay, microphone will be turned off. So the rules of that one also I shared. First speaker, she was a professor. It won't be nice to mention her name. She was a professor from All India Institute of Medical Sciences. 20 minutes talk. She had brought some 30 or 40 slides. She was halfway through and the red light started flickering. She started panicking. You know? Then 30 seconds before that, it is solid, this one. And she didn't know what to do. She was, the slides and all fumbling. And exactly at the 20 minutes, mic cut off. In the cricket analogy, run out. It was a run out. Then the subsequent speakers, I saw almost removing some 8 or 10 slides because they knew that I mean business. Okay, they knew that okay, this guy is not going to give you even a single second extra. And some of those guys, they stared. I could feel their anger. And if they had the third eye, just like the Shiva, they would have immediately burned me on the spot. On the spot. They were so angry, mad. And most of them during the morning run out. And they brought slides. They couldn't show many slides. So the presentation was terrible. So that is why I laugh. Okay, time management. Since then, I'm consciously aware of that one. Okay, now I'm going to stop the recording. And thank you all for your active participation. And I believe that you enjoyed this session. This was not only fun, this one is very empowering. And watch this video again later, at least a couple of times. That will help you. Now I'm going to stop the recording, but we'll continue the discussion.